So let me be the last person to welcome everyone here tonight to what we actually hope will be a first in a long line of Stellato Swingler family celebrations at major stadiums across the country. In fact, when the time comes to celebrate the birth of their first child, Brian and Jenny have already decided on Madison Square Garden. So stay tuned. Brian, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. I've always been proud of you, of your focus and your self-confidence and your drive and determination and the way that you look out into the world and you find something you want and you go after it. From the first time you went to one of my band concerts and said, I'm going to play the trumpet. And a few years later, you were. And then you joined a marching band and you decided this drum major thing seemed like a better gig than this trumpet playing thing. And less than a year later, you were a drum major. Or when you came home and told us all that you were going to grow up and be a high school band director. And I was skeptical because I'm older than you are and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But here you are, all grown up, a high school band director. Well done. So it turns out Brian has taken this focus and sense of purpose into his romantic life. He was looking for love and long-term commitment when other third graders were merely passing Valentine's Day. I'll never forget the first time he told me that he wanted to marry a dark-haired Jewish girl who'd gone to Cortland. But then I explained that our mother was already married to our father. And we were afraid that dream would die. But he continued to look. He always knew when someone wasn't the right one pretty quickly. He told me about a blind date he was set up on once. They went out to dinner and ordered an appetizer that came with blue cheese. The blind date said, oh, can we get the blue cheese on the side? Brian said, oh, do you not like blue cheese? Blind date said, no, I don't like cheese. Brian said, check, please. And he continued his search. But then one day, Brian met Jenny. Now, I think it's safe to say it was not love at first sight for either one of them. For Jenny in particular, Jenny tells me she wasn't looking for anything all that serious and was hoping for someone tall and blonde. And Brian was, well, so there, as the cantor mentioned in Act 1 of her 5-act speech, their first date was coffee at Starbucks, but it was very brief, and it was actually the day before Thanksgiving, so they were only at Starbucks for a few minutes, and then they went back to Jenny's house, where unexpectedly, at least to Brian, her entire extended family was gathered. And I remember this because the next day I asked Brian, how was the date? How's this girl? And he said, I'm not sure yet, but her grandmother's really nice. But 3 months later, by Valentine's Day, they had already booked a cruise for July. This is that self-confidence I was talking about. And by July, as you heard, the day before the cruise, he proposed. I asked Brian, when did you know for sure that Jenny was the one? He said there were lots of little moments, but here's the one I liked the best. Apparently they were out to dinner one night, and Brian, who likes to improvise, sometimes said, wait until you see what we're doing after dinner. And Jenny said, what? And Brian said, it's a surprise. But the real surprise was that Brian had made this up. He had no idea what they were doing after dinner. So they got in the car and started driving. And she said, where are we going? And she said, and he said, you'll see. But he didn't know. Self-confidence. Until they stopped at a red light in front of a Target. And Jenny said, are we going to Target? That's amazing! And that's when Brian knew, this is a woman I could spend the rest of my life. And so, you see, all of Brian's focus and determination to get the things that he's wanted, all of his decisions to play the trumpet, to join a marching band, to become a high school band director, they've all led him on a journey that took him from my parents' house to Delaware, to Southampton, to Huntington High School, and a set of enthusiastic band parents named the Swinglers, and a dark-haired Jewish girl who'd gone to Cortland named Jenny, who turned out to be the one he was looking for all along. Jenny, you're everything Brian has ever looked for. You're funny, you're smart, you're gorgeous, you shop at Target, you like cheese. You're everything he's ever wanted, and you're everything I've ever wanted for him. And I'm so glad he found you. Well done. And so please raise your glass. To Jenny and to Brian, may they always find everything they're looking for together. Cheers.